All right, welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 127. Rub you the right way. And we're back for our Black Business series. What's up? Special guest tonight, we have Miss Antionette Adams from the Mindful Touch for our Black Business series. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me, you guys.
Hey, look, I'm glad you can sit down and have some fun with us tonight.
Of course.
All right, before we get started, I did put this in my notes. Look, we want to shout out to all the prayers to everybody in Ukraine right now. It's some crazy stuff going on. But thoughts and prayers for everybody that's got to deal with that stuff right now. But CBE Rich was good.
Hey man, we're back. Black Business Series is back. Always look forward to these shows. And it's Friday Eve. We're almost at the weekend, ready for the work week to be over. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. What's good in Cali?
It's cold out here. I got a hoodie on, so that's what it is. But no, I will be happy to report that as of next week, we back to mid 70s and 80 weather. So we might have to report from outside with the palm trees one day.
Rub it in, dog.
Exactly. Well, look, we had one day like that around here, didn't we? And then it was like 70 around here Wednesday, and then today it was like 30.
I know, cold.
I don't know how that happened.
With the rain and everything, I could do without that.
Miserable. But it's been a pretty eventful week. I think I was over prepared for the show tonight because I forgot to send the guys the link to even get to the studio. Me and Antionette were prepared. I forgot to send the guys the link. And so I'm sitting here and time is ticking away, and CB hit me like, did you send the link? I was like, I knew I forgot something. So, but anyways, look, we're here. Let's just get right to it because it's gonna be a good night tonight. So let's wrap. Let's start off with some cupcakes. So for those who have not heard this story, the couple that I have displayed in the top corner, that's Cynthia and Dennis Perkins, right? They Dennis is a police officer, sheriff's deputy, whatever. Cynthia is a teacher, and part-time. I guess they were trying to start a baking business, but what they were baking is it's not good. But anyways, if you haven't heard the story, Cynthia fed her middle school kids cupcakes laced with her husband's semen. Yeah, disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
God damn.
Yeah, right. How do we get there? How do we even get there? This is a teacher, and that's a police officer. And Cynthia's she's got sentenced to 41 years. Right. I'm gonna read all our charges because it was a black guy. Look, they be reading all our charges too. So, charged with second-degree rape, production of child porn, one count of conspiracy of mingling harmful substances in exchange. So, let's just go around because I know I've been kind of talking to the fellas about this story throughout. But who wants to start with this one?
I mean, y'all know what I'm gonna say. The only reason why someone thinks that they can get away or do something of this nature is the priv. To them it's just a joke. It's no deeper than that. You know what I mean? These people are making me question my love for baked goods. And that's a terrible thing. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. I have a lot of family and friends that work in the local school systems and stuff around here, and say here's something like this, and we're talking about kids, man. When you're messing with the children, you're really taking it way too far when it comes to that. So I mean, they deserve everything that they're being thrown at them, and it's just another case of another episode of when the priv goes wrong. That's where we're at, man.
You look like you got a lot to say.
Listen, I read this and it was just one of those moments where it's like, this is exactly why you don't eat the potluck at the workplace. You know what I'm saying?
Or who made the potato salad, right?
Right. You know what I mean? Like you definitely, that's, you gotta check the people who you around and who you with, and that's why that's why we had talked about this before, right? We talked about the chip episode where I was like, whoever got the multi bag of chips, and if the Fritos is gone first, it's the problem because those are the nastiest chips. So you kind of know how those people are. I feel like these people eat Fritos on a regular. Like they just go ahead and buy them in bulk. But no, I don't know, man. Anytime you mess with the kids, the innocence is lost. And like I said, like the mental stuff that they probably gonna have to go through in they folks. You know what I'm saying? Just how do you trust the school going forward when there's like you supposed to have that classroom vibe of like you don't think that somebody else's kid is gonna or parents are gonna do that, let alone the teacher. And they really glossed over the fact that he was law enforcement for a real long time.
It was quick. They did it real quick.
Yeah, like, oh, by the way, he was a sheriff. He's no longer that. Like, whoa, wait, that's not just a regular officer. Like, he's sheriff. Like, they voted for him. Like he had to get there. Like, this is, what are we talking about? But ultimately, again, it definitely it sucks because the kids are the ones that are losing in all of this because their innocence was just taken away just off of some stupidity.
Yep, Antionette.
I'm a piggyback on E when he said that's why you don't eat at the potluck. But yeah, I think it's sad and disgusting for one because that information wasn't even privy to anybody. So the fact that she even brought that up, like, they found videotapes, they found everything, but she decided to throw in, hey, I also laced the cupcakes with semen, so it's like, that was weird right there. But I agree. It's sad because she's a teacher. He is a law enforcement person, but I think that's why it flew under the radar the way it did too, because like you said, privilege. He had privilege, So yeah. So that's why we look at teachers different now. They can't be trusted,
That's a good point. You shouldn't be at the stages that I don't know exactly that this happened in 2019 or 2020, but yeah, you shouldn't be. That's still like pandemic-ish around that time, and you still should be bringing food to the students. But back in the day, I remember it was like you didn't think about stuff like this. Hell, we could have came across shit like this back in elementary and middle school anyway, but nobody thinks about stuff like this now. Like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with people these days. Like, they just think about the most outrageous shit they can do and they just do it.
How can they go viral?
Exactly. What I mean? How can my privilege get me out of this?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. And it's just it's a weird story. But speaking of privilege and white privilege tears, Kim Potter. Now, we all know her for being on trial for the manslaughter or murder, whatever word you decide to use, for Dante Wright. Now, we spoke on this before because this happened to fall right in the middle of the Derek Chauvin trial. All right. So it was a traffic stop, and she, instead of using her taser, which she thought she was using, she shot Dante Wright, right? So she's been on trial. She was found guilty. And so at her sentencing, everybody, I think the most she could have gotten was 7 years for the charge of manslaughter. They didn't charge her with murder because they believe that she didn't do it on purpose. All right, so manslaughter. And she got 2 years. 2 years. And at this point, she's already time served probably, a little less than a year. So, I mean, she's getting ready to get out. Surely, because we all know how fast time flies these days.
Right.
But for an emotional trial, like to hear, the testimonies of the mother and the girlfriend and just everybody that was there and just how big of a mistake this was or accident, like they only found that 2 years was necessary for her to serve in this situation. Now, we know there's people in jail for weed charges serving more than 2 years.
Exactly.
Yep.
So let's go around.
I mean, I can start with this one again.
There you go.
Like, dude, she was smiling in her mugshot, bro. Like, that stuff made me sick. Like, it's like, I mean, you already brought it up. There's people that are serving more time for less. She literally took a man's life, and you better believe If she looked a different way, there's no way that it's end up being 2 years. You know what I mean? If it's anyone on this panel right here, we're not getting the 2-year with the already time served considerations like that. It's just not happening. You know what I mean? So I thought do I feel like justice is being served here? Not really. Not to the level that it should, because a man's life was taken away from him, and the family's dealing with that, man. So and we brought it up initially when the Chauvin case was going on, that maybe they would end up making an example out of her because of the fact that she was a woman. And it's still different to be a white male in this process. But at the end of the day, it looks like she still got the full benefits of the priv, from what it looks like. So I'm not satisfied personally.
I'll let you go ahead and get this one.
Go ahead, Antionette.
Yeah. As far as that goes, I'm definitely not happy with the verdict. And as I was watching the trial and listening to the fact that the judge wanted to cry when she was giving the sentencing out, it was just sad, because it's like, what are you crying for? And then for you to quote Obama and say empathy and, give her this, but what about the family? So definitely not happy with the result, and she's going to be out real soon, and it's not right.
Going back to her life.
Yeah.
Going back to everyday life.
That's for me, it wasn't, we've talked about it before. I've said that at this point, my reaction is all desensitized as far as whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? In the courts, not in the courts, in the street. Like it's not a surprise to me at all, right? The surprise, not really was the judge. The judge implementing her 2 cents was just like almost her, again, it goes back to, voting. They voted her as a judge. Now you get to see who she really is. And I think that the crazy part about it is when we talk about voting, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, people that are, when we vote, if you, other than looking at the ballot, right, don't do the research, or you don't even hear a judge talk, right? You usually, kind of think of more the politicians that are talking. So that's how you make your assessment through that. A judge, you have to almost look at their rulings, right? You have to look at what cases they had. And that's a lot of research for the average person. But again, that's why you have to and I think we've done it. We almost had like a community, even though we're in different locations, right? Having that just communal conversation about exactly who these people are on the dockets, right? We can agree to disagree, but for the moral sake of what we're trying to get into the right places, these are the conversations that we have to have. And she just pretty much just, that old quote, you know what I'm saying? She was good up until she opened her mouth. That was like, now we know who you are. Now we know how stupid you are. And there's no way that we should even allow you back on the bench because of what came out of your mouth. And for you to show that act, like, come on now, let's just be real.
Well, look, this is a good point, right? Street justice, right? There's been a lot of cases in the past 10 years, where we're like, damn, they won't last in the street. Somebody's going to do something and nothing happens, right?
Nope.
I don't know whatever happened in the street. I don't know. It's a good point, though. But this kind of story, next story, kind of goes with that. But it is a Black History Month story. So do y'all know who the first person is, Black man, to slap the shit of a white guy while on the clock and keep his job?
No.
Jawan Howard.
That's
who it is. That's who it is. Jawan Howard is the first Black man in history who slapped the shit out of a white guy who had a position of power and kept his job. All he got a 5-game suspension. He doesn't have to show up to work for 5 days and pay $40,000, which is probably, I don't know exactly. I don't know if he's gonna pay it or the boosters will pay it, but he's keeping his job. But so I don't know if you guys saw this. Michigan was playing Wisconsin, and I think the score was just kind of out of hand for it to be like 2 minutes left in the game. They weren't going to catch up, but the Wisconsin coach started calling these timeouts that he shouldn't have called. I mean, the game was out of hand, and I think at that point that kind of rubs players wrong anyway. Like it's like you're trying to run the score up on me, or you're trying to, the game's over. Why are we doing this? But anyways, that pissed Juwan Howard off. And then like at the end of the game where you slap fives and congratulate the other team or whatever, it was clear that Juwan did not want to go through the line because it took him forever to decide to do it. And he went through, and the other coach came up to him and kind of provoked him, put his hands on him. And that conversation turned into everybody trying to break them up. And then from there, Juwan just reached back and smacked, I guess, whoever was in front of him, and ended up being the assistant coach. Not even the head coach, but the assistant coach, causing an all-out brawl. So, kind of a serious but lighthearted story after what we just talked about. E, start with you.
Yeah, let me tackle this one first. Yeah. No, so there's those of us who played the sport can identify what I'm about to say. Some of us that played cannot be coaches. We have the mentality of it's a difference between a player playing the game and a coach who is still kind of a player's. He's still a player at heart. Like, yes, he's a good coach, but he's really a player. And what happens is you take that and you don't allow that to kind of move outside of, you're in a position now to handle it differently, right? You can't react as a player in this moment. Both sides were wrong. It is Bush League to kind of call timeouts when the game is over. You're not teaching your players anything good. And it's almost, and because it was in Wisconsin, you were showing up the opposing team, right? Yeah. If that was the Fab Five, they would have already been and started whooping everybody's ass. It wouldn't even have to been the coach, right? And that's just because that's the way it is. There is some par for that, though, because you also say that Cleo and I both have been a part of many of teams where we were up damn near 30-something points before halftime. And, we had a quarterback that was like, we don't take our foot off the neck. Like, we just keep playing. Now, we might not hit them with the number one plays, but we're going to try some of these other ones that we may, run some other time. But you still kind of scale it down, but you still are competitive. There's a difference between being competitive and just kind of being stupid. And I think the Wisconsin coach definitely stepped over the line of and was, showing that, Chad was his son. I don't know if he was on the court at the time or he was watching. He might be recruiting next year, and he wanted to show him up. And that's what you get, Yep. But hey, slaps heard all across the world because not only Juwan, but my man in the restaurant that was slapping the shit out of the old dude for saying the N-word.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I saw that. And, so again, this one
kind of took the spot of that one. I was like, this one is part of it.
I get it, but it was multiple slaps. Like he let him know, like he hit him for all 400 years. I mean, everything that he had to say that we done been frustrated over, each slap definitely had a meaning behind it. He took an ass whooping for his people that day.
Well, and then I think dealing with that story right there, I think a slap is worse than a punch because the slap. I mean, that like
degrading.
It's so degrading. But look, hey. We'll dive into that one again. But yeah, slap I think is worse. CB, Antoinette.
You can go to CB.
Yeah, I'll tackle. So I think there's a lot of machismo that was coming in this situation because the Michigan was down. I want to say it was like 20-something points. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Michigan was down like 20-something points. There's like less than a minute left in the game. And Juwan's still calling a full court press. So, like, I can understand because the Wisconsin team had, like, all their backups in. These dudes aren't prepared for a full court press when Michigan still had, like, at least one of their best players in the game at the time. So, game's out of hand, really probably shouldn't be full court pressing at that time. Other coach takes advantage of the rules, calls the timeout. There's a lot of stuff going on there that, these guys both end up getting in their feelings exactly. as far as that goes. The thing about it is the assistant coach, like initially when they were going through the line, the head coach kind of grabbed Juwan
Yep.
And his version of the story was he was trying to explain to him why he called the timeout, like because it resets the clock. He's got these, the younger dudes in the game, like he's trying to explain why he did it or whatever. Juwan doesn't want to hear it, you know what I mean? But that had kind of been diffused. And then so what ends up happening is the assistant coach comes in and actually puts his hands, he pushes two of the Michigan players. And what's crazy is this dude, out of everyone that got suspended, got fined, this dude got nothing. The assistant coach got nothing out of this. But Juwan sees this happening, and that's when the five fingers had to say something to the face. And that, so the situation had already kind of been diffused. Both head coaches were kind of walking away. And then the 6'7" former basketball player assistant coach decides to throw himself into the situation. And, it, like, as far as I'm concerned, he deserved the slap. Like there's angles of the video that show that he was definitely not an innocent bystander by any means.
Not at all.
But yeah, it's one of those things where Juwan won from the history with the Fab Five. And last year he got into it with the coach at Maryland during the Big Ten tournament. So there's people looking at it like, oh, he's got a history of this, blah, blah, blah. A lot of machismo, a lot of testosterone going on. It's not an excuse. Like you said, both parties were wrong in this instance, but my man did deserve to get the slap. It is an unwritten rule in basketball. Opposing coaches do not touch the other team's players. Like you do not do that. And this dude, he didn't do it to one, he did it to two players at least. And it's like, all right, bro, well, Juwan had to stick up for his guys, and like I don't blame him for that.
Right.
I don't have any real input on this subject because I didn't see this game. But one thing I will say is that people are people, so on or off the court. So it's things that's going to happen, and they're going to react. So yeah,
that's true. I mean, again, when you're in that environment, like you said, the testosterone is already going. Like sports always there's always some kind of confrontation or just some kind of one-upping somebody else when it comes to sports. And I'm surprised more fights haven't happened, at least that we know of. A lot of things happen when you go backstage, or just ask Carmelo and KG.
Yo,
right? But look, we're here. Let's just get straight to it. This is why we're here. Black Business Series. This is to give you a quick background, Antionette. We started this during the beginning of the pandemic, right? We were trying to figure out what we're going to do because everybody and their mother got a podcast. What are we going to do to kind of just keep the wheels going? And we're like, you know what? Let's do a Black Business Series because I'm sure during this pandemic, small businesses are shutting down. Some Black businesses need spotlight, whatever. But what we come to find out was a lot of them are thriving, right? A lot of, we had a lot of successful stories thus far in the Black Business Series. So decided to keep it up. Let's keep it going. A lot of people seem to like it. So tonight's Black Business Series, we have Miss Antionette Adams from The Mindful Touch.
Thank you, guys.
So look, I'm going to lead off with the first question. So what made you want to become a massage therapist?
Well, when I graduated from high school, my two options were to become a massage therapist or to become a nurse. So I went ahead and proceeded with trying to be, becoming a nurse. Went to school, didn't finish it, and I ended up in finance. You have these big dreams, and I ended up in finance. So being a single mom and priorities in life and stuff like that, I couldn't go to school. So when the pandemic did come, it gave me the opportunity to actually go to school because things were shut down. They had virtual classes, and then they allowed you to go into class. So it helped me with that. So that's how I got into it. But also with that, like all my friends and stuff always come to me like, Antionette, can you help me with this? Ooh, rub my shoulders, do this. You got these healing hands. So yeah. So just those type of things pushed me and made me like, it's my time. So I went to school.
Why not get paid for it, right?
Yes.
ECB.
I guess at what point did it become a reality that you could actually do this as like a business and things like that? Because some people, it starts off as a hobby or whatever, you know what I mean? When did that transition happen? Was there anything that sparked that for you?
I went through various business ventures, so I knew that with this was it. I know that I had to learn the difference between a passion and a hobby, because you can be good at something and it don't mean that that's what you want to do. But once I got into school and I started, learning about the body and, working on people, I knew that was my calling. So,
okay.
What's how long were the classes? Like, what was it? Was there anything that would deter you from like initially taking it when you saw like what the classes it like you had to take, or especially with it, I guess like you said, being a pandemic, some of it was probably virtual, but I would think that some of that is also more hands-on, pun intended. You know what I mean? Like as far as having to be like probably in person, while you were in class. So how did that work out?
Well, we had virtual on the weekends. I think it was twice a month, and then we went into class for the rest of the days for hands-on, like you said, because we have to do hands-on. So it was just the fact that it was a hybrid where I was able to do some of the book learning online and then actually go into the class and do the hands-on.
How long did it take for you to? Because I'm assuming you get. At the end, you get certified. Is that what the term is? The certified massage therapist? Is that how long does it take?
Once you graduate from school, so I did a year. It was a year program. I went to the Northern Virginia School of Therapeutic Massage in Falls Church, Virginia. It was a 1-year program, and once you finish, you were a certified massage therapist. From there, you got a year to go and take your board examination to become licensed. So I am a licensed massage therapist. I went and passed my board. So,
okay.
Could you tell us some of the like services, some of the stuff that you offer, and is there anything that you think separates what you're able to offer from other like what you would consider your competitors?
Yes. So I have a the Mindful Touch is a massage and wellness suite. We offer therapeutic massage services, and we also offer body beautification and wellness services, such as body wraps, yoni steams, and I have a little break, and body contouring. Lost my train of thought. What separates me from everyone else is that the Mindful Touch is an experience. When you come into our suite for any service, it's unlike anyone else. It's not just you just lay on the table, you get a massage. The environment is welcoming. The way that I do my services are welcoming. Just the touch of my hands is different. So when it comes to what I offer and what other people offer, it's my touch. That alone is different.
Come on now, somebody don't be modest. Don't be modest. Services are the bomb.
What's I guess for your profession, one of the questions I always ask is what is a misconception as far as being a massage therapist compared to one thing that you probably thought before you got into it that was probably true to form, like as far as that, like like massage therapists, they clearly go to get massages themselves. So it's like, do you even embark in that because you do that all day? Like you work with your hands. So I know that's kind of going to be like, I don't want to lay down no more. Or you want somebody to work on you, you know what I mean? Vice versa.
No, I want somebody to work on me because giving massages ain't easy. It's not just rubbing on people. It's a full body workout. It was funny because when I first started massage school and we started working on people, well, just actually the first class when we started doing the body work and they were telling you all these moves you had to do. I thought it was so simple, but by the first day, my back was hurting, my arms was hurting. I woke up the next day, I felt like I was hit by a bus, and I was like, "Oh, this is a 60-minute massage." So, I think that's a misconception that you just rubbing. It takes a lot of proper body mechanics and stamina to actually do a massage. You have to be strong. It's not for the light of heart at all.
Okay. So I'm gonna set the scene up. You graduated, right? And your first client. Now we know nerves can come into play. Like now you have a paying client here and no more practice. do you remember your first client, and did you have a lot of nerves going into that that first official client?
No, I really didn't, because in massage school you do so many clinics, so we see clients every weekend, so that actually got us prepared for giving massage. So my first client, I was confident in myself and my ability to be able to give the massage, and I fix and work on whatever they needed me to work on. So
Okay.
I was fine.
Are there any specific like skills or qualities you think that kind of lend themselves to you being more successful at this type of job than other people would? Like there's got to be some specific qualities that enable you to be as good as you are.
That's a good question. I would say that my personality, you are your brand, you are your business. So when people see you, you sell yourself. So I'm a very personable person. I don't have too many people that don't like me. I don't think so. So I think that when it comes to my business, when I'm talking to people and they're listening to me and they're, we're having conversations, it's so organic, that it's it's just more inviting. Whenever you're going to get a massage, one thing that is very important is intention and energy, because that's very transferable. So you can know when you first walk into a massage room if that therapist is the right therapist for you, because you don't want just anybody touching on your body. So I think, as far as I go, I think that my energy and my personality has helped me push myself as far as to get to where I am right now with my business.
So I guess my question is like the end game. Like, is there opening, multiple locations, maybe putting more people up on, what you do, and hiring, more people that are kind of in the same boat as you, as far as just maybe trying to get off. And do you find yourself being a mentor to some people that want to start theirs that probably didn't know how to before they saw you do it?
To your first question, my end goal is definitely actually to have a wellness suite, where I have different therapists and different services being offered to clients, where I'm not just the only massage therapist in there, where we also do holistic wellness, nutritional advice, things like that. So that is an end goal for me. And your second question was, repeat that one more time for me.
Do you, like, since you kind of like you went to school for it, you started your own business, like, your friends around you, or maybe other people that probably went to school but maybe they didn't start their own, like, did they kind of reach out to you and ask you, for some tips or even some pointers of, now that you started your own business, like how that works?
No, I haven't been approached with that actually, but I will say that I have a good group of friends, and we all are entrepreneurs. So we all lean on each other and we give each other advice and we push each other. So every time each one of us every time we move up and excel in something, it pushes the next person to do the same thing. So
We got a question from the crew. Do you find that clients prefer same sex?
when it comes to massage,
Yes, I'm assuming that's what this is.
no, not really. Some people do have preference. You'll normally get a female that has more preference. They'll probably want a female massage therapist over a male massage therapist, but haven't really been haven't really had any issues with that.
Okay. So we are, I'm assuming, coming out of a pandemic, but you've been doing this during the pandemic. What are some of the, I guess, safety precautions you have in place when you have clients come over? Are they masked up? Are you masked up? How does this go?
Clients are masked up. We make sure that I make sure that I disinfect all areas before and after clients. Just proper protocol. Also using proper ventilation, using air purifiers to purify the air in between clients and things like that.
We've talked a little bit about, you branding yourself and, the brand in general. How did you come up with the name?
How did I come up with the name? Because like I said, touch is intentional, and you have to be mindful of everything that you do. So when you laying hands on somebody, you have to understand exactly why you're laying hands on that person. So you got to be mindful of everything that you do, every
Like
part of the
Jawan
body. You got
Howard.
to make. Hmm?
Like Jawan Howard. He was mindful with not laying hands on that guy.
He was mindful. He knew what he was doing.
Very intentional.
Yes.
This guy.
So that's where the mindful part came from.
That's dope. So the three of us on here, and I don't know your background enough. You might have played sports, so for the sports person, right? You know, you have that sports massage. Is there a way for you to like? Because I know typically they ask, right? Kind of get that. Do you have like that questionnaire of like what type of massage that you're going into or what they would like? And I feel like I know this might sound funny, but like, you know, I would, you know, besides them be still taking my money. Don't laugh at me, right? They still taking my money. But anyway, you know, they ask, you know, like what type of massage you want. They give you the little notes and you kind of write down all the stuff. And I felt like what it kind of equated to was not what I wanted because they was like, oh yeah, you need that sports massage. I was like, no, I don't want you to like deep, you know, I don't need you to like marinate my bone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you to touch my bone. I want you to, like, do you find that some people like really don't know the type of massage that their body actually needs, and you like help them kind of get into that mind of or that understanding of what their body needs when it comes to the massage?
Yes, I agree. Most people don't know what kind of massage they want. And because the industry is so commercialized, when you go places, you got to pick between a Swedish, a deep tissue before you even start your service. So when you get in there, you may need a Swedish, a deep tissue. You may need some percussion gun. You may need some stretching. So I have a massage, which is the mindful touch massage. And that particular one is a custom massage that is based off of the person's body when they come to me. Because your back may have been hurting 2 days ago when you made your appointment, but now you're coming in, your back, your hip, is more things that hurts. And now we have to, you know, reevaluate and restructure how we're going to approach your body. So, like I said, coming from the commercialized aspect of things, most massage places just have standard ones and you have to just stick with it. I personally work on the person's body and meet it where it's at.
Okay, so my question's a two-parter. You and I, while we were setting this up, you told me that you had a location that you were moving out of. So just tell that story, and then the second part is where are you located now? Where's your shop located now?
Okay, yes. So in December, I had secured my own spot right there off of Beach Road in Temple Hills. Had moved in and everything. I was ready. I was setting up. All that was so good. And one day I had all this. It was a church underneath me, and it was just drums and cymbals and the choir, and they sounded good. I love gospel music, but my clients don't want to hear that. You know, they need peace. You know, like I said, it's like the mindful touch is an experience, and when you come in, it has to meet all of the requirements. So I talked to the leasing agents and they apologized and said, unfortunately, their lease has a clause in it where they can play their music on the weekends. And I was like, well, that doesn't work for me. So thankfully, they let me out of my lease and they gave me a full refund. Thankful.
Nice.
And I had to move everything back out. So that was stressful. Who wants to move? So I ended up moving back into my home. So my whole first floor is set up for my massage studio as of right now until we can secure a new spot. And I'm located in Temple Hills, about 10 minutes away from the National Harbor.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to be part of the throwing this wall. What is that?
Yeah, what massage is that?
What is that?
Miles, you gotta relax. You gotta relax.
You got anything?
Yeah. So Antionette, do you? So you're talking about, you know, you approach each client, you know, kind of as they're coming to you. Do you set up like do you work with clients to like set up a specific program or a regimen or anything like that?
Well, the regimen happens after we finish the session. I'll give you different exercises you can do at home, different tips, and then put you on a program so that you come to me, once or twice a month, depending on, where your body is at that time, so that we can get you where you need to be. And then from there, we'll assess you maybe once a month, just basically however your body's presenting itself. I'll work with you and show you things that you need to do to help yourself.
So this one, I no clue. I just know again, it's hearsay, right? So, the whole point of like the chiropractor, right? Totally different than a massage, but in that, are your bones or your muscles supposed to crack during the massage? Because look, I had one. It was this little short little Asian lady. She got on the table and she had both her knees on my back, and I was just like, why is this happening? But it was because she was like 90 pounds, like soaking wet. So I guess she had to put more pressure on it. But I was like, yo, this is not a chiropractic session. Like, this is supposed to be a massage. So like, how it does the two mix, and do you find clients going over there to that, like to the chiropractic side, thinking that that's what they need over a massage?
I'm not going to say they mix. It sounds like you had a Thai massage, and they would definitely get on you, and your body will crack because because there's a lot of pressure, and they are actually pulling your body. I'm not big on chiropractic work. I've had it done before. I prefer a massage. I feel like you can do stretching and things like that to realign your body. I know there are a lot of complications that come with chiropractic work, so
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that they mix, but to each his own. But I do believe that through massage you can get the same outcome, because with massage you have, like I said, you have deep tissue, you have stretch, mobility stretch, you have all different types of things that can be done to manipulate your body and to get it back in alignment.
All right, well, I'll wrap it up here for this part. But I will say, E, look, I go to a chiropractor. I haven't been in like a year. Amazing. But yeah, I think somewhat you go to one and the chiropractor just at least get you upright, and then go to a massage therapist and just to get everything else together. I mean, at least my experience. But so my last question is, where can we find you? You got a website, social media?
You can find me on Instagram at The Mindful Touch. You can find me on TikTok at The Mindful Touch. And you can also find me on my website at www.themindfultouch.com. And of course on Facebook.
Okay. Do you have a price list on there, or do you
Yes.
kind of take it client by client?
No, my website is fully up and running. You can see the price list. Right now my booking page is on hold since I moved back into my had to move. So Friday, tomorrow, I will be opening up my booking page to take to reopen and take new clients.
Okay. So look, everybody she's not going anywhere yet. We just transitioned to another segment. We got a couple more things to do before we get out of here. But like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like what you've seen thus far. Like, subscribe. We're here every Thursday night at 9:30, and we do the Black Business Series quite often. But we did give you some homework. We give everybody homework because this is, I love seeing where people's minds are. Now, we're also a show about music and movies. So this is where you tell us your top 3 movies of all time and your top 3 albums of all time. So let's start with the movies. Movies seem to be kind of a little easier than music.
Oh, we start with me.
Yeah. No, this is all you. This is all you.
My top 3 movies. First one, we're gonna go with Love and Basketball.
Oh,
my favorite. I love it. And if I take it even further back, we're gonna go with Color Purple, because I used to watch that over and over and over. And then I'll bring it current, because it's top 3, but I'm gonna come with current. The Invisible Man. That was one of my favorite movies. Recent,
the one that came out like 2 years, like a year and a half ago. Yeah, that was amazing. Nope.
Yeah.
So see, this is why those are all 3 different movies. I don't think we've heard any of those 3 thus far. We typically get to Coming to America. We get what else? Bad Boys. We've heard that in rotation a lot. So it was good to get that. Okay, now let's do the albums.
Albums. I am going to go back to I don't know the name of the album. You're going to help me. It was Beanie Siegel. I Can Feel It in the Air. What album?
That's okay. That's I'll get you the answer for the show.
Okay,
I know that one. That's
and then I have Dondria.
Okay.
Her album was it's called Dondria versus Fat or something like that. That album was really, really good. And then of course we're gonna go with Beyonce. All our albums are hot, but my favorite one is Dangerously in Love.
Oh, okay. The Becoming is the Beanie Siegel album.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, see again. All right, a couple people said Beyonce. You know, that's kind of a fan favorite.
Right.
She's kind of let's see.
But no one said the Beanie Joint.
Yeah, no, I mean
that's good.
That was actually a pretty dope album. Okay, so look. Okay, so we get ready to come up on the weekend. And look, we gotta pay a couple bills here. So if you haven't had DC Shy Pie, I don't know, are you a fan of Chicago Deep Dish, Antionette?
You're
not a fan? Okay, well,
nope.
You should try it.
I will.
This is one of my Black Business Series guests. Shout out to Grant and everybody at the DC Shy Pie. Chicago Deep Dish style pizza, black owned pizza place. We got a discount code here. Save 10%, WRC 10 at the DC Shy Pie. Look, I'm gonna hook y'all up, right? This is some of the pizzas that he's got. He's got like the steak and cheese. He's got like a salmon pesto, sausage and pepperoni, and like, look, if you're not into deep dish, he's got a couple of flats here. He's got the Georgetown pizza, which is a tribute to the gyro. He's got the Big Chair, which is a fried chicken and mambo sauce. And then he's got bread pudding if you want dessert. So there it is, 10% off. WRC 10. Use our promo code. So you know a little bit about E, and I hope you know everything you think about E thus far is getting ready to change. I promise you. Alrighty.
It's that last screenshot that always does it for me.
It's motivation. It's motivation.
I need to grab that screenshot and like put it up on the page every so often. But no, so again, for all the new people that are definitely logged on, we thank you for joining us. This is definitely that one part in the show that's always gonna probably have you talking about, you know, what the hell happened, right? I thought this was gonna be one thing, and then it just totally went left. So my segment is really just an unpopular opinion, but I figure it's my opinion, and I, you know, kind of say I say stuff that people don't want to say, right? One of the biggest ones, just to kind of put you on and everybody else that's new on the channel, is that you know, I consider that lemon pepper wings are trash. See, now you made a face, and I'm gonna have to tell you why. Because they're never consistent. It's either too much lemon, or it's not enough lemon, or it's not consistent enough to be an actual wing flavor. Okay, but it's all right to each his own. You like lemon wing, you know, lemon pepper wings. That's all right. You know, I got a shirt that says they're trash if you want to holler at that. But anyway, we'll get that a little bit later. So that's just how this segment goes. And today's segment, right, came off of sort of what we talked about kind of the last one before, right? And this one is just straight up, right? There's no way around this one. This is definitely going to separate whether or not you are an actual living human being or you're a serial killer. Like, there's just no ways around this, okay? There are these packets of Kool-Aid, and what I'm going to ask of each and every one of you, I want you to tell me what you call each and every one of these packets that you see on here in a row. I am going to judge you. Yes, this is a judge zone, and the people on that are watching, you can chime in too. I need to know how you say each and every one of these packets that are on here. Now, Clay, I don't know if you can make it front and center so they can see it, or if it's over to the side. Two of them kind of look the same, but I just want you to tell me, going from boom, and then just start all the way over. All right. So, who would like to go first?
I mean, Antionette, you want to go first?
Ladies first.
So I have to name each one?
No, he's saying,
How do you refer to it?
How do you refer to the Kool-Aid packets? I know where he's going with this.
How do I refer to it?
Yeah, if you was going to if you had your homegirls was coming over, they said, you know, girl, you got any Kool-Aid, and how would you say which one? Not you, Eddie. Like, it's all right.
He's gonna tell you like red, orange.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
That's how
I mean, I would refer to them as the flavors, though. I wouldn't call them colors. I'd be like, you want grape? You want watermelon?
Exactly.
You want the mystery flavor? You know, you had the mystery flavor back in the day.
Exactly. Because exactly, there's more than one. Look, there's more than one red. There's
no cherry is red.
No, there is not. There, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Just thank you for
cherry and strawberry both red, and then tropical punch is red. Yeah. Technically, but it comes in a blue packet.
Listen, did you hear what my brother CV just said? That there is only one red, and that is cherry. Cherry is the only one you call red. Everything else, you call it by what the flavor it is. Yeah. You're like, yo, what you got in there to drink? I got red. If you ain't got red, you're not saying you got red and it's strawberry. Because as soon as you make it, if somebody drinks it, they're going to be mad as hell at you for saying you had red, and that ain't the actual red that they was thinking it was. Strawberry, and that's it. Tropical Point, don't even get me started on that crap, because that's not even real. It's red. Understand that. Yeah. If you label these by anything other than the color of the damn packet, we have a problem.
So I have a story. When we were in college, because the Kool-Aid packets are like 50 cents, right? Like not incredibly expensive, but on that broke college salary that we had, we could only afford America's Best Drink Mix, which was 10 cents a packet. And they didn't have a multitude of flavors. They literally had like 3 of them. But you better believe red was cherry. And, you know, so there's red drink, there's purple drink, and then everything else is just the name of the flavor. That's how, that's how I was raised. And you know, that is what it, and things, it just got drilled home. Chappelle show, when Dave did the bit, you know, when he was talking about, he's like, yeah, the black kid, he was looking at the purple stuff like, oh yeah, give me that purple stuff.
See,
you know,
the issue with me is I drink high C.
What about Tang? Were you a Tang kid?
Not a Tang.
Well, again, you know, some of us had to get the 10-cent packet of Kool-Aid, you know what I'm saying, and get it in that picture, you know what I'm saying, and stir it up to, you know, have your diabetes water.
Think about it.
You know what I mean?
It was one little pack of coloring, and it was sugar. You didn't really need the coloring. You just put sugar in all that water, and it's been the same thing.
Listen. Thank you, CB, for clarifying exactly what the hell people and listen, Antionette, I understand you got some followers on here. They was definitely not feeling me on my lemon pepper, but they definitely was right there with me when they said we identify them by the color.
There was a few.
Yeah. The color of the packet. Because like I said, you gonna be mad as hell if you ask for red Kool-Aid and I come around and I bring you this damn strawberry shit, and you're gonna be like, "This is not red Kool-Aid." Right. You absolutely right.
First of all, can you taste the difference between any of that shit?
Yeah,
you can taste the difference
between outside of orange and grape. All the reds to me taste the same.
Listen, right. First of all,
next hookah sesh we get together, we're breaking out the sugar and all the packets.
There it is. All right. There it is.
Well, hold on 1 second, E. Hold on. All right. So, outside of talking politics and people getting the shit slapped out of them and white privilege, and is it just Black Business Series? We're also sneakerheads, and this is the finale. We're wrapping up here. So, if you're still watching, appreciate everybody watching. But this is the For the Soul segment, and look, we talk sneaker news and just show a couple shoes, and then we're out of here. So, CB. I believe you got Soul Swap.
Yeah. So for people that are new, Soul Swap is a segment where we talk about some of the news that's going on in the sneaker community that we think all of our listeners and the homies that tune in should be aware about. And one of the things we've seen a rise of recently is there's been a lot of violence at these releases. During the pandemic, there was a lot of those public releases that stopped. But as COVID numbers have dropped and things like that, some of the releases have started coming back. And we've had, unfortunately, people getting stabbed. There was a young lady that was stabbed a few weeks ago outside of a Foot Locker for a Dunk release. And then Jaron Brayford he worked at Shoe Palace, tried to break up a fight during a release and ended up getting shot, and he died. And so one of those things, we just want everyone to be safe, just be mindful of what's going on. And these are things that, whenever there's a loss of life or, something where people end up in the hospital, we're talking about sneakers, man. Like, these are things that, we love them. They're near and dear to our hearts and all that kind of stuff. But life is precious. You can buy new sneakers. You can't come back from the dead. You know what I mean? So right. Just really want everyone to be safe out there and to just think about, just your fellow man, your fellow, women and children out there. Cause like I said, there was a young lady that was stabbed a few weeks ago over a dispute in a line. So, you guys have anything to add to, this is one of those topics where it's, just want to raise awareness and just make sure that our people are staying safe out there.
I'll start real quick. I think that, it's getting out of hand. There's no way to. Well, first of all, it's not just with sneakers. But this is the spotlight on sneakers. But you got the people doing the flash robberies at the malls. Yep. We talked about carjackings being up in DC, or at least spotlighted. I just think that resources are scarce for people. And, it's like martial law out here, and people just doing whatever they want. And the consequences really don't matter at this point because it keeps happening. So it's very tragic, which is weird that they actually have sneaker lines still, because the internet, and who would have thought that would still be a thing with sneaker lines. But yeah, man, it's tragic. Anybody else, E?
No, man, this is one of those things where, unfortunately, it's saddened us because it's definitely it's a stain on our culture because of the way that we have allowed materialistic things to take over that way. To take somebody's life for something that's not going to be in style, over the next 2 weeks, you know what I mean, or somebody's life is worth, a product that can be made, and that ain't even made by us. And 9 times out of 10, the money, they ain't even gonna stay in the location where they trying to pick this up. So it's stupidity. Definitely a big reason why, I don't even do lines anymore. If it ain't on the internet, it ain't happening for me.
Yep. Antionette, you got anything?
No, I agree. I never was a big fan of those sneaker lines. I used to hate driving by and seeing everybody in them, but I know what it is. Everybody wanted that shoe, but exactly. I hated it because it just ensued violence. People wanted to fight you for the last shoe because it was their size. And so, yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't even have to stand in line. They'll just wait for you to go ahead and go in and get it. And then they'll just, once you come in, you do all the work for them.
Yeah, you a target. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, CB, copper drop.
All right, so a few weeks ago, probably a few months ago at this point, we talked about Drake getting his own shoe through Nike, and they did announce that there was going to be a black colorway. So this is the Nike Air, it's the Hot Step Air Terra. In the triple black colorway. They gave it a release date of March 3rd, at least in Asia. So my brethren are going to be able to cop these for $180. And really just want to know if you guys, if you had the opportunity for $180, if you would be copping Drake's sneaker in this specific colorway. And, at least for me, like as a musical artist, I like Drake. Drake is one of those dudes where there's, I don't know if he has a classic album, but he's got a lot of hits. He's got a lot of stuff that gets regular play on my my Spotify and everything. But I'm not checking for these sneakers one bit. So
you can't be good. You can't be good at everything.
I guess
trash.
Like LeBron, one of the greatest basketball players on the planet, but God was like, nah, bro, you can't have that hairline. Like, it's not allowed. So Drake, he can have all the hits on the Billboard charts, but I don't think he's hitting it with these shoes, man. I really don't. I think that he's trying to invoke the 90s, and we have a lot of affinity for the 90s on this podcast, but I don't know, man. These just don't do it for me. So, I mean, at least for me, especially for $180, I was kind of surprised at that price point, but these are a drop.
No.
There's forgive me. I know I was doing a lot of motion, trying to look like I was actually looking around for a trash can because that's exactly where these shit should go. These are garbage. These are hot trash, and these might even end up on Is It Just Eat as one of probably the worst entertainer shoes that I've ever seen. Like these are straight garbage.
Right, $180 for this shit, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not spending no hard-earned money. First of all, Drake's got enough money, so for that price point to be $180 is ridiculous. And this can go in the trash right next to Certified Lover Boy. Antionette, if you had the opportunity to get these, would you cop or drop them?
I'm definitely not copping these. I'm not feeling that air bubble. I'm not feeling nothing about that shoe. So
right,
absolutely.
Clean sweep,
all the way around. All right.
Shoe and tell.
So Antionette, you are the guest. We always give our guest the opportunity. Do you want to go first? Or do you want to go last?
I want to watch y'all first. Let me go last.
Okay.
All right. I might hurt Kaleo's feelings right here. I had to do these. I had to do these. So these were a copper drop a few weeks ago, and I hit. This was kind of crazy.
Oh, come on, man! Really?
I hit on sneakers twice in 1 week, and I think I hit on sneakers twice all of last year. But these are the LeBron 9 Big Bangs.
Come on.
You might have seen LeBron wearing these in the All-Star game over the weekend. But yeah, like these joints are fire. I never had the opportunity to get the original drop when these came out 10 years ago, 12 years ago. But the details are crazy. You see like the Galaxy plate. It is the glow in the dark outsole.
We see it, CB. Nah, that's a dope shoe. It's a dope shoe.
But my man.
I got passed up on those. I don't know how that happened. I got passed up, and I thought I was gonna
listen. That is very classic. Shout out to CB, who is definitely on point tonight and is giving all the problems to Cleo. I had this thought in my mind that that's what he was gonna do since we had that conversation.
I knew it was coming. I just
yeah.
didn't know when. I was hoping I'd had something else in hand. But whatever.
Funny enough, I kind of thought that that's what he was gonna do, and listen, you got to feel better after you catching. We catch so many L's in the sneaker community. I've caught a bunch of L's recently, and I've shown shoes thinking that I was gonna get good juju and get some of these W's, and that didn't happen. But I am gonna keep pissing on Kaleo's party, and instead of shoes, I want to highlight something else that I just recently got.
No.
And Listen, I'm definitely about my vinyl. People,
The
I don't, you know, like I
vinyl.
said, this is also about music as well, right? We do music, we have top, but understand like this album and the cover in itself is definitely one of a kind. Yeah, just so you can get the grace of that, you know, that purple rain. This, you know, vinyl. This is that classic sound that he
All right,
wanted
I've
us
had
to
enough of
have.
everybody right now. So
You
what we're
know
about
what
to
I'm
do right
saying?
now is we're gonna put everybody to the side right now. I'm gonna do. I got a Jordan box right here, and what I got in there are the 1993 eights.
Hey,
So these released couple years ago. Worn a couple times. Got that little nice carpet tongue right there, whatever. But yeah, shout out to Beezy. I know Beezy loves the eights.
Yep.
And so yeah, so I don't know how people play ball in these because there was no type of basketball technology to keep. I mean, your feet look nice and clean in these, but you can't play ball in those.
I mean, you see MJ dunking on people in them, and you just think, oh, it's gonna make me dunk. And then I remember I'm 5'8". I'm not dunking on anyone.
That was just, thank you. Tell him, Chuck Clark. Tell him. That's my mom, by the way. Tell him, get after him.
Gotta relax, Ma. You gotta relax.
Okay, so it's my turn. So I ain't got no box, y'all.
That's okay.
But
That's okay.
I'm gonna give y'all a little story behind these shoes. You know, back in the day, all the stuff that we used to like, we found it in Kmart, Walmart, and then everybody wearing it, and it's just everything. So I was pressed to give me a pair of Filaws.
Hey.
Just because I remember back in the day we couldn't even wear Filaws because it was like, oh, you got Filaws on?
Yep.
But now Filaws are like everything. So
yep, back in style.
Leo, we've had that conversation I don't know how many times where it's like, yo, some of these brands that when we were growing up, you know, like they just brought them back and upped the price.
That's for you. What color is the vinyl on the Purple Rain album?
It's most definitely purple.
All right, that's beautiful. All right, so look, another successful show, another successful Black Business series. We want to thank you again, everybody, for joining. Again, like and subscribe, the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. Look, we want to thank Miss Antionette Adams from the Mindful Touch for joining us tonight for our Black Business series.
Thank you guys.
You got through it. We got through it.
I did.
Right?
I was nervous.
We got through it. And look, we kept it. We kept it under right around time that we wanted to keep it at. But we want to thank everybody for watching. Hang on in the room while we lock out of here. But is that it? We got anything else that we normally say? CB?
Share, subscribe.
You
know, check us out. We're on all the streaming platforms.
There you go.
You know,
all the streaming platforms.
YouTube. All
Great
of it.
guest. Exactly. Appreciate
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. So yeah, look, hang out in the room real quick, Antionette. That's it, y'all. Need something else.
Peace.
Peace.